how to take out all the organs in the body, then clean them up and put them back into the body without causing the person to die. In other words, what disease caused the doctor to do this? This bride and groom didn't go to the restaurant to have a wedding party, but they went straight to the hospital where Shaun was working. This bride had uterine fibroids. Because she was bleeding, she had to have emergency surgery. This originally was just a minor surgery, but Shaun laughed. However, someone said, life and death were hard to tell when Shaun smiled. The surgery had started. First, the doctor opened her abdomen and then her uterus. After opening the uterus, the ligaments would gradually expose. Shaun was suddenly a bit flustered. He said, try touching her internal organs. Because doctors weren't able to see the overall condition of the patient's internal organs, the main surgeon named Neil was looking at his assistant helplessly. He thought this was just a simple surgery, but when he tried to put his hand inside to check, he found out the patient's cancer cells had spread throughout the surrounding organs. Therefore, they were forced to sew up the incision and stop this surgery. Doctors began to check photos of the patient's organs and discuss together to find a solution. Because when performing surgery, doctors couldn't observe the overall condition of the patient's internal organs. Cancer cells had spread to other internal organs and they couldn't handle it. Finally, Dr. Neil decided to let the patient undergo chemotherapy. Shaun had worked at this hospital for 1 year, and the number of cancer cases in the past 1 year was also uncountable. Neil wanted Shaun to tell this news to the patient. This was also considered as a training way for him. After that, there was a situation that was both tragic and funny happening. Neil led Shaun to the hospital room. Shaun said solemnly, "Ma'am, you are suffering from cancer and it is spreading very widely." Hearing that, the patient was extremely shocked, but she believed the doctor would have a solution. Her cancer is melanoma and there is no cure, Shaun said. At this time, the bride could only cry quietly. Because she knew she didn't have much longer to live, she was very depressed. Seeing that, Shaun said, "Actually you can still be saved." Hearing that, the bride and groom felt very happy, because the bride still had hope to live. After returning to the office, Dr. Neil scolded Shaun. "I ask you to notify the illness to the patient, not ask you to give the patient an illusory hope. With her current condition of health, it's hard to live." But Shaun said, "We can take the organs out, remove all the cancer cells and then put them back in the body. Although the probability of success is very low, this is the only way now." Dr. Neil called only sich. Although what Shaun was saying like a myth, this was really the only way. Originally, today is this couple's wedding day. They just thought it was a minor surgery. However, they didn't expect that the doctor had to take out all the bride's organs to treat the cancer cells. After surgery, the patient would be greatly affected. Like the digestive system was impaired, and she had to live with diabetes for the rest of her life. Moreover, the mortality risk during surgery was up to 80%. Suddenly the husband asked, "What if we don't do the surgery?" This made the doctors extremely confused. Dr. Neil said, "Chemotherapy and radiation therapy will help her live a year, and maybe this will be the best year of your life." Hearing that, the couple thought for a long time. The wife said, "You should find another wife who is healthier. Your life will be much better." But the husband told her, "I swore that no matter how sick or poor we are, we will always be together." Eventually, they decided on surgery. First, the doctors opened the abdomen to take out the organs and put them on a table with ice. At the same time, doctors had to provide enough blood for internal organs. Then they carefully removed all the cancer cells. This process went very smoothly. Next, the doctors would have to put the internal organs back to their original position, then connected the artery that supplied blood to the viscera. But at this moment, Shaun noticed that the patient's small intestine looked dark and had strange signs. This showed that part of the small intestine had been necrotic. Therefore, they had to remove this necrotic part. After 8 hours of intense surgery, doctors finally succeeded. The next day, the patient also woke up. Fortunately, she was saved. However, due to the large amount of necrosis, the doctor was forced to remove a large part of the small intestine, and they now need to get rid of the post-surgery dirt from her body. The doctor put an ileostomy bag next to her. The ileostomy bag is used to collect waste products after surgery. Generally, there are 3 types: closed bag, open bag and urinary bag. The patient asked how long it would take for her to take it out. The doctor said she would have to wear it for her whole life. The couple could only look at each other. How long will their love last? After a day of work, Shaun had his first date in life. Because of this date, Shaun took a lot of time and effort to prepare. He had already written interesting topics on a small piece of paper. First, Shaun asked Carly, "Do you like surgery?" He said, "Today I took all the organs of a patient out." Hearing that, Carly interrupted him, until we've finished eating, then can you talk about surgery? Shaun thought Carly didn't like hearing about surgery, so he rushed to find another topic. At this time, the waiter brought the food. When just seeing the pickles on the plate, Shaun said, "I told you not to put pickles in." After that, he stood up and accidentally bumped into the waiter. This caused the waiter to throw the bottle of wine into the air. Although Shaun had autism, his reflexes were very fast. He had caught the bottle of wine and felt very proud of this. Finally, Shaun and Carly finished their dinner. Shaun politely ran over and pulled out a chair for Carly. However, he almost made her fall to the ground. When opening the door, he accidentally bumped into a woman. If it was a normal person, they would immediately ask, "Can you stand up?" But Shaun said, "Sit still, don't get up. Now you need to be reshape the shoulder joint immediately." Carly panicked and asked, "Do you work here?" It turned out that Shaun just looked and found that this woman's shoulder was dislocated. After that, he sat down and reshaped her shoulder. Luckily it was successful. The woman then tried to move her shoulder. She told she had never felt so comfortable. But she didn't know that she was the easiest case Shaun had ever treated. Everyone around applauded him. Everyone was surprised by Shaun's professionalism. Arriving home, before entering, Carly gently kissed Shaun. Although there were a lot of incidents happening during the date, for Carly, this date was hard to forget. After hearing Shaun talk about his first date, his colleagues found that date more interesting than in the movie. At this moment, Dr. Lim, who was recently promoted to dean, and Dr. Marcus Weikert over. It turned out that Marcus was dismissed because he wanted to keep Shaun at work. Now he is just an ordinary surgeon. The movie comes here. See you on the next movies.